The shuttle's engines roared as it pierced the thick, toxic clouds of the uncharted planet. Below, jagged mountains sliced through crimson mist, and rivers of molten liquid twisted like snakes across the scarred land. Captain Rylan gripped the edge of his seat, eyes scanning the alien horizon. The galaxy had called humans weak, a species unworthy of danger. Yet here he was, standing at the edge of a world that had eaten every explorer alive, and he felt no fear. Only focus. "Atmosphere readings are off the charts," said Lieutenant Mara, her voice tight as she checked the instruments. "Radiation levels, gravitational spikes. This place is pure death." Ryland's lips curved in a small smile. "Then we'll survive where no one else could." As the shuttle descended, the ground trembled. Shadows moved beneath the red mist, shifting with unnatural speed. Mara's hand shook as she gripped the console. "Did you see that?" "What?" Another crew member, Jace, shouted, pointing to a flicker between the mountains. A massive shape loomed for a split second, far too large to be any known creature. Then it vanished, leaving only clawed impressions in the scorched ground. Rylan leaned forward. "Those aren't marks from ordinary animals. They're hunters. Apex predators." The shuttle landed on a plateau, dust rising in angry plumes. The crew disembarked cautiously, weapons drawn. Every footstep sounded louder than normal, echoing across the canyon walls. The wind carried a metallic, iron-like smell, stinging their noses. Suddenly, a deep rumble shook the plateau. The ground cracked beneath their boots. A low, guttural growl reverberated from the shadows. The crew froze, eyes scanning the jagged terrain. From the edge of the cliffs, two glowing eyes appeared. Slowly, the creature stepped into view. Towering over the humans, with thick black scales and massive claws that could tear steel, it sniffed the air, sensing life. Its tail lashed violently, sending a shockwave through the ground. Mara whispered, It's huge. We can't fight that thing." Rylan crouched, his eyes sharp. "We don't fight it, we outthink it." He reached under his jacket and released a small, whistling device. From the shadows, a smaller predator emerged. A sleek, muscular beast with golden fur and razor teeth, trained to respond only to human commands. It growled, its eyes locking on the alien predator. The alien snarled, the sound like cracking stone. It lunged. The golden predator met it midair, claws flashing, teeth bared. Sparks flew as the two titans collided, their roars echoing across the canyon. Humans scattered to safe positions, hearts pounding, but Rylan stood firm, shouting commands. "Keep calm. Watch and learn." The crew could hardly believe their eyes. The human-controlled predator dodged, struck, and maneuvered with precision that no alien could predict. The massive alien screeched in frustration, clearly unaccustomed to an opponent who fought with intelligence and strategy rather than brute force alone. Jace muttered, half in awe, "It listens, it's listening to him." Rylan didn't answer. He was already planning the next move. Focus. Observe. Every predator has a pattern. Every weakness can be found. The battle ended as suddenly as it had begun. The alien predator backed off, retreating into the crimson fog, leaving deep gouges in the rock where it had clawed. The golden predator stood tall, chest heaving, eyes glowing in triumph. Rylan knelt beside it, patting its head. "Good work. That's why humans survive where others die." The crew exhaled, tension melting into awe. Mara, still trembling, looked at Rylan. You weren't scared?" He shook his head, voice steady. "Fear is for those who can't control it. We adapt. We dominate." But the planet was not done testing them. As night fell, shadows stretched across the plateau. Strange alien screeches echoed from deep within the jagged cliffs, hinting at creatures far worse than the one they had just faced. Lava rivers hissed and boiled, and occasional tremors reminded them that the world itself seemed alive, hostile, and aware of their presence. Jace scanned the horizon. "Captain, there's movement. More of them. Bigger." Rylan's gaze hardened. "Then we learn faster. Fight smarter. Survive harder. No one else has ever done this. Tonight, humans set the rules." He turned to the crew, eyes blazing with unshakable determination. "Stay sharp. Trust your instincts. And remember, we are humans. We are hunters. Nothing here can match that." The red mist thickened, and the first stars of this alien world appeared above. Somewhere in the darkness, the apex predators waited, but Rylan and his team were ready. The galaxy had called them weak. But here, on this forbidden world, humans were about to prove that weakness was a lie. The humans moved carefully through the twisted canyons, every step measured. The air was thick with the stench of sulfur and ozone. Captain Rylan led, golden predator at his side, ears twitching as it listened for movement. The ground beneath their boots was scorched, covered with deep claw marks, proof that larger hunters had roamed here. Lieutenant Mara pointed to a ridge above. Captain, movement. Something huge. Rylan's eyes narrowed. Stay calm. Don't make a sound. Let it reveal itself first. The shadows shifted, then a massive form dropped from the ridge like falling darkness. The apex predator landed on the ground with a thunderous crash. Its scales shimmered like black steel under the planet's crimson sky. It had 4 legs, each ending in claws wider than a human arm, and a head lined with jagged teeth that glinted in the weak sunlight. Its eyes were glowing amber, scanning for threats. Jace swallowed hard, voice trembling. It's enormous. How do we fight that? Rylan crouched slightly, speaking calmly but firmly. We don't fight it with weapons. We fight it with brains and timing. Watch carefully. The apex predator sniffed the air, its long tail lashing like a whip. It growled, low and thunderous, a sound that vibrated through the canyon walls. The humans instinctively stepped back, but Rylan held his ground. Steady, remember it's testing us. Every move we make, it measures. Suddenly the predator charged, faster than any human could run. The ground trembled with each step. Mara fired her pulse rifle, but the beams barely grazed the thick, reflective scales. The beast skidded, pivoted, and in a blur, it was on top of the golden predator. The two creatures collided in a spray of dust and sparks. The golden predator hissed and struck back, teeth flashing, claws raking. Rylan called out commands, and the golden beast responded instantly, ducking, weaving, and circling its enemy with precise timing. Jace gasped. It's following orders. It's actually listening to him. Rylan didn't answer. He studied the apex predator, noting every movement, every rhythm. It's strong but predictable. We bait, we strike, we survive. He picked up a small device from his belt, a sound emitter designed to mimic prey signals. Tossing it to the side, he activated it. A high-pitched chirp rang across the canyon. The apex predator turned sharply, distracted, jaws snapping in frustration. The golden predator seized the opening, slashing claws across the alien's leg. The apex predator roared in fury, spinning toward the humans. Dust and small rocks flew like shrapnel. Mara yelled, "Move! It's coming this way." Rylan signaled with his hand. "Hold your ground. Don't run blindly." He fired a series of plasma charges, not to kill but to confuse and distract. The apex predator flinched, eyes flicking from charge to charge, its focus split. The golden predator darted between the human legs and the alien's massive body, striking in perfect rhythm with Rylan's commands. The humans had turned the planet's deadliest hunter into a manageable fight. Strategy, timing, and unity gave them the upper hand, not brute force. Finally, with a powerful roar, the apex predator reeled back, assessing the humans differently now. It had expected easy prey, but here was a species that moved with precision, that commanded their own predator, that did not panic. Rylan stepped forward, chest heaving but calm. He crouched and spoke softly to the golden beast. "Good. Now keep it there. Don't let it forget who controls the hunt." The apex predator growled again, more cautiously this time, then retreated slowly into the crimson mist, leaving deep gashes in the rocky ground. The humans watched its massive form vanish, hearts pounding, adrenaline surging. Mara shook her head, awe in her eyes. We survived. And it didn't even touch us directly." Rylan nodded. "That's the point. Humans survive where others die because we think, plan, and act together. The galaxy underestimates us, and it will regret it." Jace exhaled, voice trembling between fear and excitement. "Captain, do you think it will come back?" Rylan's eyes scanned the red horizon, alert to every shadow. "It will. Apex predators always come back. But next time we'll be ready." The team moved cautiously deeper into the canyon. Every echo, every shifting shadow reminded them that the planet was alive with danger, but also that humans had the edge, cleverness, courage, and control over creatures even deadlier than themselves. As night fell, glowing spores drifted across the canyon, lighting up the gnarled rocks with an eerie glow. Somewhere in the darkness, the apex predator lurked, aware of humans' presence and their clever ally. But for the first time on this planet, the apex predator had reason to respect them. Rylan glanced at his team, eyes fierce and determined. "The galaxy said we were weak. Let them watch. We're not just surviving, we're hunting, and nothing here will make us prey." The golden predator growled softly, brushing against his leg, ready for whatever came next. Somewhere beyond the mist, the planet's real dangers waited, but humans were no longer just victims. They were hunters. The canyon twisted deeper, walls narrowing into jagged spires. Red mist clung to the rocks, swirling around the humans' boots. Captain Rylan moved carefully, golden predator at his side, muscles tense. Every step echoed, every shadow seemed alive. The apex predator had vanished, but the planet's dangers were far from over. Lieutenant Mara squinted through the mist. Captain, scanners are picking up movement. Multiple life forms, fast, coordinated. Rylan nodded, eyes narrowing. They're not animals. This is intelligence. Stay sharp. No one expected the ground to shiver beneath them. Suddenly, a pulse of energy erupted from the cliffs above. A swarm of alien drones dropped from hidden ledges, each shaped like a jagged shard of black crystal, moving like liquid metal. They hovered, firing beams of light that burned rock and scorched the red soil. Ambush! Jace yelled, diving behind a jagged boulder. The canyon erupted in chaos. The humans had walked straight into a trap. Rylan raised his hand. Hold fire until you see an opening. Watch their patterns, they're clever but predictable. The drones circled, scanning for movement. From the shadows, strange creatures leaped, small, spindly aliens with chitinous armor and glowing eyes. They struck in synchronized attacks, claws slicing the air. One lunged at Mara, but the golden predator reacted instantly, leaping between them. Its claws raked the creature's back, tossing it aside like a rag doll. Mara's eyes widened. It's protecting us. It knows the threat before we do. Rylan ducked a laser bolt, rolling behind a rock. It's not just brute strength that keeps us alive. Watch, learn, and use the terrain. Humans survive where others die because we think faster. He reached into his belt, activating a small device that emitted pulses of sound mimicking the drone's communication. The beams of light faltered, their formation breaking for just a moment. Now! Rylan shouted. The golden predator dashed, knocking one drone into the jagged canyon wall. Sparks flew as metal screamed against stone. Jace fired plasma bolts in precise arcs, cutting off another wave. Humans and beast moved in perfect sync, striking, retreating, and striking again. Despite the terror, the humans' faces showed determination. Mara barked orders to the team, coordinating attacks with the predator. Divide them. Make them overcommit. The drones responded with speed and cunning, forcing the humans to adapt continuously. One small alien crept along the cliff edge, preparing to ambush Jace. Rylan spotted it, firing a concussive charge that sent it sprawling into a molten fissure. Think ahead. Every move counts. The golden predator roared, slashing at a larger drone that had advanced too close. Its jaws snapped around a crystalline limb, crushing it with precision. Sparks and energy arcs lit the canyon like fireworks. The humans were clever and the predator was ruthless. Together, they turned the trap into a battlefield they could control. But the canyon itself seemed to fight them. Rocks shifted, tiny tremors grew stronger, and a wave of molten liquid hissed nearby. Rylan glanced at the team. We can't stay here. Every second counts. Move up the ridge, cover each other, and keep the predator between us and the swarm. They advanced in tight formation, using rocks for cover, the golden predator darting ahead to engage threats before they reached the humans. The alien drones tried to coordinate, but the combination of human strategy and the predator's speed disrupted their attacks. A massive energy net shot from the cliffs, aimed to trap the golden predator. Rylan reacted instantly, swinging a magnetic pulse device. The net snapped and folded in on itself. The predator leapt through, landing beside Rylan and shaking its head, clearly eager for the next strike. Breathing heavily, Mara glanced at the scorched ground. Captain, they expected us to panic. They thought we'd be easy prey. Rylan smirked, blood and sweat on his face. Humans adapt. We don't panic. We dominate. He kicked a small rock into a drone, sending it crashing into the canyon wall. Every trap has a way out. Every hunter has a weakness. Finally, the swarm faltered, drones crashing into each other, small alien creatures fleeing into the mist. The humans pressed forward, relentless. The apex predator's earlier presence had been a warning. Now the galaxy learned that humans could face even intelligent, coordinated threats and survive. The golden predator sat atop a boulder, breathing heavily but alert. Rylan crouched beside it, patting its head. Good work. That's how humans take control. Fear doesn't win. Cleverness and courage do. The canyon was quiet for now, but the planet had only shown the first layer of its hostility. The humans moved forward, wary, knowing something even deadlier lurked ahead. But confidence burned in their eyes. They had faced an ambush designed to kill, survived with strategy and wit, and turned the trap into victory. Rylan looked at his team, voice low and steady. The galaxy thinks we are weak. Let them watch. We survive where others die. And we do it together. The red mist swirled, hiding the next threat. Somewhere in the shadows, alien intelligence observed the humans, realizing that for the first time, this species could not be underestimated. The canyon grew darker as the humans pushed deeper into the alien world. Red mist thickened between jagged rocks, curling like ghostly fingers. Captain Rylan led, Golden Predator at his side, both alert for the apex predator or any other unseen dangers. Every step was tense. Every shadow could conceal death. "Scanners are picking up movement ahead," Mara whispered, eyes scanning the jagged walls. "Something large, and it's moving fast." Rylan's jaw tightened. "Stay close. Keep your heads. The planet isn't done testing us yet." The team stepped carefully when suddenly the ground beneath their feet vibrated, not from the apex predator, but from human feet moving faster than expected. Jace squinted at a faint silhouette darting among the rocks. "Captain, that's one of us." Before anyone could react, a small explosion rocked the canyon floor. Smoke and sparks flew as a concealed device detonated near the team's backpacks, destroying supplies and weapons. Mara screamed, stumbling back. Who did this?" Rylan's eyes narrowed, realization hitting him. "It's sabotage. One of our own is trying to get us killed." A figure emerged from the mist, Lieutenant Varric, his face twisted with fear and ambition. I can't let you do this, Rylan," he said, voice trembling. "The Predator, it's too powerful. The planet, it will kill us all." "You call betraying your team clever?" Rylan barked. "This isn't survival. This is cowardice." Varric activated another device, and a series of alien drones appeared from the shadows, surrounding the humans. The betrayal had turned the canyon into a deadly trap. Red laser beams sliced through rocks, sparks flying. "Get behind me," Rylan shouted. The Golden Predator lunged forward, intercepting a drone aimed at Mara, teeth sinking into metal. It yelped but held, forcing the drone to spin away. Jace gritted his teeth, firing at the advancing drones. "Varric, you idiot. You're going to get yourself killed." Varric's face twisted in panic. "I'm trying to survive. You don't understand." Rylan's voice was ice. "No. I understand perfectly. Survival doesn't come from betrayal. It comes from courage and brains, something you've lost." He grabbed a plasma charge and hurled it at a rock above the betrayer. The rock fell, blocking the path and cutting Varric off from the drones momentarily. The Golden Predator growled, circling, ready to strike. Rylan moved close to Varric. "We survive together or we die alone. Choose." Varric hesitated, fear warring with instinct. The apex predator's roar echoed from deeper in the canyon, a reminder that something even deadlier was near. Sweat ran down Varric's face as he glanced at the predator, then at Rylan. I don't want to die." "Then act like a human," Rylan snapped. "Stand. Fight. Protect your team, not sabotage it." A tense silence followed, broken by the clicking of alien drones advancing again. Varric dropped his device, eyes wide, realizing his mistake. The Golden Predator let out a warning growl, forcing him back toward the team. Rylan crouched and whispered, "Quickly. Cover each other. Use the terrain. And remember, you are human. You adapt. You dominate." The team surged forward, moving as one. The Golden Predator struck with deadly precision, tearing through drones and throwing them into molten fissures. Mara and Jace fired coordinated plasma blasts, exploiting the openings Rylan created. Varric faltered at first, then jumped into action, finally fighting alongside them instead of against them. The canyon became a battlefield of strategy and courage. Drones crashed into rocks, sparks flying like fireflies in the red mist. Rylan's calm commands kept the humans synchronized, his voice cutting through chaos. "Left flank. Over the ridge. Keep it moving." The apex predator appeared suddenly, leaping from the cliffs above with a deafening roar. Drones scattered, unsure how to respond. The Golden Predator met it mid-fall, jaws snapping and claws striking. Humans used the distraction to push forward, turning the ambush into a counterattack. Varric gasped, fighting side by side with the team for the first time. I thought we'd die for sure." Rylan kept moving, voice steady and fierce. "Humans survive where others fail because we think, we adapt, and we fight together. Fear won't save you, cleverness and courage will. By the time the dust settled, the canyon lay silent. The drones had been destroyed or scattered, and the apex predator had retreated into the mist. The humans stood victorious, breathing heavily, sweat and ash covering their faces. The golden predator sat tall beside Rylan, eyes gleaming with loyalty. Mara looked at Varric, her voice trembling. "You could have killed us all." Varric lowered his gaze, shame etched across his face. I understand now. I was wrong." Rylan's gaze swept the canyon, alert for the next threat. "You were afraid. That's natural. But humans survive by turning fear into action. Remember that. You are all part of the hunt now, or you are nothing." As the red mist swirled around them, shadows shifted in the distance. The planet had more tests ahead, more predators lurking, more intelligence observing. But the humans had proven that betrayal could be overcome, fear could be controlled, and even the deadliest traps could be turned in their favor. Rylan placed a hand on the golden predator's head. "The galaxy says we are weak. Let it watch. We survive where others die because humans are hunters, thinkers, and leaders. And nothing, alien or human, can stop that." The team moved forward, closer to the heart of the forbidden planet, stronger, smarter, and united. The galaxy had not seen the last of them, and the apex predator, and whatever waited beyond, would soon learn that humans were never prey. The canyon opened into a massive chasm, jagged cliffs rising like the teeth of some ancient beast. Rivers of molten rock cut through the darkness, casting red-orange reflections across the humans' faces. Captain Rylan crouched on a rocky ledge, golden predator growling beside him. Somewhere in the shadows, the apex predator waited, and Rylan knew it was not alone. This was the final test. "Captain, there's movement everywhere," Mara whispered, scanning the horizon. Shadows darted between cliffs, glimmering like dark lightning. "There, hundreds of them." Rylan's jaw tightened. "Then we fight smarter. Not harder." He glanced at the team. "Remember everything. Trust your instincts. Trust each other. Tonight, humans set the rules." The first attack came without warning. A wave of massive alien hunters, scales glinting like black mirrors, claws tearing the rock, charged from the mist. Their roar shook the canyon walls, but Rylan and his team didn't flinch. The golden predator leapt ahead, intercepting the nearest hunter with a powerful swipe of its claws, sending the creature crashing into molten rock. Jace fired his plasma rifle, cutting through the alien ranks, while Mara coordinated precise shots, exploiting openings. "Left flank. Over the ridge. Move," she yelled. Humans and predator moved in perfect sync, a deadly rhythm against the chaos. From above, the apex predator dropped with a deafening roar, massive wings unfolding as it landed. Its amber eyes scanned, calculating, intelligent, and deadly. It lunged at the golden predator, jaws snapping. Sparks flew as claws met scales. Rylan moved swiftly, tossing a magnetic pulse grenade that disrupted the predator's momentum, giving his golden ally an opening to strike back. The humans didn't just fight, they outsmarted. They used the molten rivers as traps, forcing the alien hunters to slip, slide, and collide with each other. They drew them into narrow ravines where numbers didn't matter, only precision. Every shot, every maneuver was calculated. Mara ducked behind a boulder as a clawed hand smashed nearby. We can't lose. We've come too far." Rylan's voice cut through the chaos. "We won't lose. Humans survive where others fail. Fear is weakness. Strategy is power." A massive alien brute charged at Jace. In a heartbeat, the golden predator intercepted, slamming its shoulder into the creature, teeth sinking into armored scales. Jace fired a plasma bolt, striking a critical joint. The brute fell into a fissure with a roar that shook the canyon. Rylan sprinted up a rocky slope, spotting the apex predator circling above, ready to strike again. "Now!" he yelled, pulling a device from his belt. It emitted a high-pitched resonance, confusing the apex predator's senses. The creature faltered, unsure of its prey. The golden predator took the opening, striking from above with lethal precision. Varric, now fully recovered from his earlier betrayal, joined the fight with renewed courage. "We can do this. We're humans," he shouted, tackling a smaller alien hunter with Mara covering his back. The apex predator let out a final roar and charged. Its massive claws tore the ground, and the team froze for a split second, but Rylan had already calculated the strike. He tossed a plasma net to the side, bouncing it into the predator's path. The beast collided with it, momentarily restrained. The golden predator leapt, striking the apex predator's flank, teeth sinking into a scale joint. The beast stumbled, roaring, then retreated into the crimson mist, disappearing beyond the canyon's edge. The smaller hunters scattered, recognizing the dominance of their challengers. Silence fell. The canyon glowed red with molten rivers and smoke, scorched rocks littering the ground. Humans breathed heavily, hearts pounding, adrenaline coursing through every vein. The golden predator sat tall beside Rylan, tail flicking, eyes still alert. Mara wiped sweat from her brow, awe and disbelief in her eyes. We did it. All of them, and the apex predator. Rylan's gaze swept the canyon, cold and fierce. The galaxy thinks humans are weak. They called us prey, easy targets. Tonight, we earned fear. Not because we are the strongest in brute force, but because we are clever, brave, and relentless. Nothing hunts humans successfully. Jace looked at the team, exhausted but alive. They'll remember us. Every species that sees us will know, humans are hunters, not prey. Rylan placed a hand on the golden predator's head, voice soft but commanding. Good work, partner. Together we set the rules. Together we survive where others die. The humans gathered, scanning the horizon. The red mist swirled, hiding dangers yet unseen. But now the apex predator, and every other creature in this world, had learned a lesson. Humans were not weak. They were hunters, tacticians, and warriors. The galaxy had doubted them, mocked them, called them fragile. Now humans were a force no predator could ignore. Rylan looked at his team, voice steady and proud. We came here as explorers. We leave as hunters. Remember this feeling. Remember this strength. Humans survive. Humans dominate. And the galaxy will never forget it. The crimson sky faded slightly as molten rivers glowed brighter in the canyon. Somewhere in the shadows, alien intelligence observed, calculating and wary. But the humans, battle-scarred, clever, and unbroken, moved forward, ready for anything. The galaxy had called humans weak. Tonight humans had earned their fear.